I made a huge mistake on my new free to play, and I wanted to fill you guys in on what happened so you don't make the same one. Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. So I wanted to give you guys just an update about what happened on the account. Not only because of this mistake, but I also wanted to give you guys a big update on the free-to-play account because we've made a lot of progress and things are going pretty well. But I had a bit of a catastrophe. So I've been doing a lot of leveling. One of the best ways to get XP, and I mentioned in my last video about the free-to-play account, Supreme Galek account, I had mentioned that getting to 45 was extremely important, and we're going to get to that later. But the best way for me to do that was basically champion training. I was just grinding champions like crazy, spending gems, and doing everything I can just to make sure that I could get to 45 because it's a really big deal. And part of the process of that is getting food for your food, right? So you'll see I have like a bunch of 2 stars ready to go here. So what I do is I buy a bunch of mystery shards. That's the green ones, right? And then I take the 1 stars. I'll go ahead and pop 10 mystery shards, right? And then take whatever I get, and then I go in and I level them up using a brew and 3 others, right? So this preacher gets ranked up to 10. They are now ready to, or leveled up to 10. They are now ready to rank up to a 2-star, and that becomes the food for my 2 stars, right? And now I have a bunch of 3-star food to go into this guy and vice versa, right? And eventually that goes into this 4-star. That's how I do my champion training, right? Why am I mentioning this? Listen up. I just got a new promo link that you can use to follow along with me on my latest free-to-play adventure and get a free Elenaril as well as 3 more powerful epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get Elenaril right after signing up, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Tagoar as you progress through Raid. Click on my link right now and let's crush this together. Well, buying the mystery shards, I was just going through the motions, just grind, and I accidentally pulled 10 ancient shards. You guys may have caught that if we looked at the roster. You can see I now have a couple of more epics that I didn't have. So I got Vala and Desertqueen. I know Desertqueen's pretty reasonable, actually. I'm going to do a little more research on him. I'm not as familiar with his kit. He does bring a single target hit and an AoE hit that has built-in ignore defense. So it's really possible that this might be my new nuker for Arena in the future. I don't know enough about Desertqueen, but looking at the base abilities on the kit, it looks like they can probably hit pretty hard. I feel like Vala probably hits pretty hard too. She brings an AoE decreased defense, but I've got plenty of those at this point. I'm just not as familiar with Vala's kit, but I'll look into her as well. What are the reviews on Vala? Yeah, pretty decent. What are the reviews on Desertqueen? I haven't looked at them. What's it say for Arena offense? 4.8. I do know that he's good for Faction Wars Hard because you're going to need freeze for Dark Elves. I ran into that problem. I'm about to build one on my main account in the coming weeks. But yeah, so that's what we ended up getting off of those 10 Ancients. I'm kind of just ticked off, more so because it's going to impact part of the plans that I had going forward. I was actually really interested in trying to go for an upcoming fusion. I have a small feeling that the next fusion is going to be pretty good, and I didn't want to miss out on it, and I kind of wanted to prove to you guys that new players can go for fusions, which has been a big kind of hotly debated issue amongst free-to-play players. Like, free-to-play players, they can't go for fusions. I wanted to take a look, at least, you know, keep it in the back of my mind, and I'm sure you're like, wait, dude, you can't go for fusions. You only got 3 sacreds. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. So in the challenges, I am 2 challenges away from another sacred shard. 13 of Fire Knight's Castle is my biggest challenge. However, once the lovely Cold Heart becomes a 6-star, actually she could probably do it at 5 stars to be completely honest with you guys. I'm pretty sure I can get through stage 13 of Fire Knight's Castle, but using her multi-hit A4 and her turn meter reduction here. So pretty confident about stage 13 Fire Knight, at least being able to do it. It may take me a long time, like I don't think it's going to be a super quick run, but I should be able to accomplish it, I hope. While I haven't had the dungeon available to me, I am pretty confident that I'll be able to do the Force Keep. I'm not concerned about the force keep at all. But yeah, that is the plan, and that would get me another sacred shard. And then we just have Nightmare Campaign, and this is another area that I feel very, very confident in. I really feel like Supreme Collect can probably put in a lot of work in here and get me through a lot of these stages, to be completely honest with you. We might struggle on like certain stages, like in Hallowed Halls, like the boss fight in Hallowed Halls and the boss fight in the Brimstone Path, but I'm prepared to try that so that we can get the Sacred Shard from Nightmare as well. So that is the plan. Now that's 5 Sacreds. I'd like to have 6 going into a fusion, and unfortunately I don't think I'll be getting one anytime soon. We are quite a ways away because I have made some mistakes in my playtime. We're over half a month away from getting another Sacred Shard. So it's going to be a difficult decision. Now, if they stick to the normal schedule, I believe upcoming weekend, I'm recording this on a Saturday, so next weekend should be 2x Sacred Shards, which would be very exciting for me because I would love to pull during a 2x Sacred. However, there's a potential, depending on, I mean, it might not even be Sacreds at all. There's a lot of stuff that could change and may alter the direction that I choose to go with the account. So I might save my Sacreds during a 2x if I can find any information out about a future fusion. Now, if there's no information about a fusion and we get a 2x Sacreds, I will probably just pull my Sacreds and take the 2x, okay? We will see what happens. The other crazy thing I wanted to talk about, when I pulled all those ancient shards, I didn't even get to place epics in the thingy. I was so upset because I literally was just like, I thought I was on mystery shards summon times 10, and I summoned with these empty. I was so upset because I could have at least had a Geomancer in there, which would have, maybe one of those epics would have been a Geo if I had the 15x for Geo there. So pretty disappointed overall that I wasted those ancient shards. But anyways, that is kind of the plan going forward. Now we have some other events coming up that are going to be relevant to this account. I have been saving my soul stones because I was waiting for a boosted event. And not only are we going to get a boosted event, we're also going to get a boosted event where I will get points for a deck of fate. So they've announced that. I think that starts at the beginning of next week. But let's move on now to why 45 was so important. And it's 50 for Live Arena. Okay, I knew Live Arena was close, but this was the magic reason why I wanted to get 45. Now, this is another huge advantage that I have over you guys, and I want to be clear about any advantages that I'm giving myself during this account, right? And the reason this is a massive advantage is because we are a tier 6 siege clan, which means I have the potential to get 3 mythical 6-star feral pieces times 4. If everything goes great, if we performed next week the way we did this past week, I would get 12 pieces of 6-star mythical feral gear, which is insane for an account that's not even 30 days old. Now, we could lose, we could get steamrolled and end up not even getting 3 pieces. So things can happen. And that doesn't even include the possibility of a victory chest, which would drastically give me even more rewards. When you're talking about clan gold, then you have mythical accessories, even fragments per Lamasu, which is only going to take me, a couple months to get her at the rate of 12 per if we keep a win streak going. So there's a lot up in the air, but I wanted to kind of talk about this. I wanted to go over this with you guys. I did set a defense. You can see I'm 2 out of 3 here. I did go ahead and set up a defense for us, but I have 1 defense battle put in play here. I'm not going to use the other 2. I would rather my clan get reserve teams picked rather than me having really, really weak teams. The team I'm putting out there is very weak, by the way. I'm just hiding in the stronghold here, but I have just an unleveled, unbooked, ungeared Spirit Host just for her aura, and then just using the big 3 from Arena team. So I haven't been doing too much in Arena. I've been doing Arena for missions and for just, you know, doing them daily, but I haven't really done anything as far as pushing. I've been kind of resting in silver 4. I could go gold. However, what I learned from the free-to-play challenge is that to go gold, I'm basically going to have to just keep beating free teams, and that means I'm basically refreshing every 15 minutes. I don't want to do that. I don't. That's not fun for me, so we're just not doing it. I would rather just sit silver for a little while until I get the really good champions or get the really good gear that I'm hoping to get from other areas of the game that we're performing in right now. So let's talk Doom Tower. I've been a little bad about Doom Tower. I should be, even though it's not the best gear set, I should be doing this and farming here. This is a pretty big hard stop for me. I don't have a really good way of getting shields right now other than, well, Vala, but I don't know. I know she has shield in her kit. I don't know if she's going to be good here or not. We'll take a look, of course, but I don't have a lot of cleansing. I do have Reliquary Tender, but she's not the priority right now. She's probably going to be a far later priority, probably my next. I don't think she's my next one. I might make her my next one just so we can do Scarab King. But yeah, Scarab King is very, very difficult to do if you don't have the gear for it and if you don't have the champions for it, right? If I don't have shields, it's hard to get through. So with where I'm at right now, this just isn't a priority. I'm okay with that. It is going to be several weeks that I'm not able to do Doom Tower, which is frustrating, but you know, these things happen. And who knows, things may change in a couple of days. A shield set can get me only so far because it doesn't last forever. So yeah, it's kind of just a weird spot. Last thing I want to talk about here in Clan Boss, we are 3-keying hard still, but we almost 2-keyed it today. I do think that as I continue to gear and level Tagoar, because Tagoar is taking some time to level, once Tagoar does get to 60, I think we're going to see much more value coming out of Tagoar. I have re-geared Tagoar as well. You can see I put Tagoar in these speed boots. I wasn't able to pair them up with anything from the speed set, at least not yet. Let's take a look and see what we have in the speed set. Ooh, crit rate, maybe the weapon. I don't know. I don't know if I want crit rate gloves. I would probably prefer HP percent. So I think for right now, we might be okay, but I did speed him up quite a bit. Only 172 speed, nothing too crazy, but we did speed him up a bit. We've got 194 on Artor. Uugo is 189 and Supreme Galek is 164. I would love to see that higher. Yeah, and I still haven't really even geared Elenaril. She's just in kind of garbage gear at this point. I might build her out. We do have a pretty big stockpile of silver. I said my last thing was talking about Clan Boss, but I kind of got motivated to talk about this silver here, right? So how do I have 16 million silver? Well, I'm not leveling gear. And I'm sure that sounds crazy. What do you mean you're not leveling gear? Why aren't you leveling gear? You're using Elenaril every single area of the game. Why haven't you built her, right? Why aren't you building Kale better? What do you mean you're not leveling and building gear? Well, I'm taking my time, right? I'm waiting for good pieces of gear because it makes a big difference for the account. I also just sold a whole bunch of green and commons today, clearing out a lot of room from this type of stuff, right, that I've kept for a minute. So I'm getting a lot of silver from grinding my champions up, but I think it's okay to be patient. We have the luxury right now of having a really dominant champion whose kit and type by itself does a ton of work for us. Why is that so important? Because I can get away with a little bit of greediness towards my silver. I don't have to level up every piece of gear I get. I don't have to push and max out all of these champions. I'm happy with where I'm at right now with my progression on dungeons and Clan Boss, so I don't feel the need to build Elenaril out in a full 16 set. I would rather wait until I get a mission that tells me to do so, or maybe it's a mission, maybe it's a challenge, maybe it's just, you know, I finally decide, okay, it's time to build her. But for right now, I'm getting away just fine with having 16 million silver. And like I said, I'd like to have that silver going into a potential fusion. I don't usually like to do fusions with less than stage 20 on farm. I'm nowhere near doing that, even with Supreme Galek. However, I do feel like I'd be able to accomplish them as long as I am very careful and deliberate and utilizing RSL Helper appropriately to give me a bit of an edge. You know, we'll see. We'll see. The fusion might not be great. We don't know, right? I just have a small feeling that the fusion might be pretty good. They tend to be pretty good during these big events, and we can assume there will be a fusion during this upcoming Demon Spawn event that they're doing. Chaos Rising or something like that. Chaos Awakens, I think it's called. Yeah, we've got, I'm going to check the news and see if it's in there. Yeah, Chaos Awakens. So, I don't know. We'll keep an eye out, but we have at least 5 Sacreds, and there's really no other way for me to get another Sacred unless something generous comes down the pipeline in the near future. But that's going to be the update for you guys. So I think every Sunday I'm going to try and record for you guys an update on the free-to-play. And if something interesting happens on the free-to-play, I will update you guys with that as well. And I'm sure a lot of you have passed me because I've been struggling a little bit, but I'm really back into it, and I'm really having a lot of fun on the account, diving in. I'm super excited at the possibility of pulling shards in the near future. So that's always fun. That's always a great way to get excited for an account again. All right, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I enjoyed making it. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. It is the best way to support my channel, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Take care.